we ran a pre-workout yesterday, right? So I had to come to get some C4 packs. Basically pre-workout, right? Where is it? 200 milligrams caffeine per pouch. Thinking about my next move, gotta keep my head above water. I do this shit for my mama and my little brother too. Ain't no more problems, man. I might as well go back to school. Got a C4 right here. So proud of what I knew. Well, ain't nothing stay down. I don't know forever, right? You know what's up with me, nigga. Never change on my game. Bro, this thing tastes like shit without water. Alright. I got a good one for you guys today. We're gonna be going to an old school gym, old school iron dungeon type gym, you know, hardcore iron plates, rusty, dirty, hardcore, you know. I'm gonna be driving like I think maybe like 25 minutes. It was like 20 minutes from my house, but I drove like 5 minutes to come to the store. Just came to grab obviously these C4 packs, you know, so pre-workout basically. There's no supplement stores open. There's no Walmart open right now, so I couldn't go to get an actual tub and some Powerade, you know, some intra-workout carbs, something to sip on, something to keep me going throughout the session. Make sure that I don't crash, you know. I only had my last meal was like almost a cup of rice, raw weight, so almost a cup of rice, maybe like 100 carbs, pretty high carbs. But it was about an hour and a half ago, and I had some chicken tenderloin. I had like 300 grams, I think, 307 grams of chicken tenderloin. I'll throw the macros up on screen. But it's about 3 a.m. right now. It's about 3 a.m. or like 2:50, 2:45-ish. Yeah, it's 2:53 a.m. I just checked. 2:53 a.m. I'm gonna get a day pass, you know, so we can go to that old school gym. As I was about to leave my house, you know, before I left, I just got hit by this urge to go to a different gym, you know, go to an old school gym, go to an iron gym, you know. Typically, you know, my home gym is a commercial gym, and the vibe is just different, you know. If you've been to both an old school gym and a commercial gym, you'll know the vibe is completely different, you know. A lot of times these iron gyms, they won't have music playing, or if they do, it's like hard, heavy rock, you know. It's music that you can actually train hard to, you know, because if you've been to a commercial gym, you know, they'll have like Katy Perry playing, you know, Taylor Swift. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not training to that. And I mean, those were just two examples, you know. They just have the most random, like, generic pop radio station music that doesn't get you hyped, and it's just not congruent to the way that I enjoy to train and what amps me up. No shade on Taylor Swift or Katy Perry, you know. I do sometimes. I have listened to Katy Perry, but it's in my headphones, you know, and it's blasting max volume, you know. So but anyways, I don't know what I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm gonna sip on this pre-workout. Let's take a sip while I drive to the gym. Okay, see, it's not that bad with water. What's the flavor? I think it's like frozen bombsicle. So it tastes like blue raspberry, you know. It tastes like I guess a blue ice pop, blue icy, whatever. But yeah, we're gonna head to the gym. I'm excited, you know. I'm excited. I've been to this gym before, twice before. Also in the dead of the night, you know, it's 1, 2, 3 a.m. And gyms are already pretty empty at the time. Even a commercial gym, you'll never find it that packed at those hours. But an old school gym like this, you'll at most you'll see literally one or two other people in there at the butt crack of dawn, in the middle of the night. So I'm feeling like I'm gonna be the only person there. Hopefully so. But if there's one or two other people, I don't mind that at all. That's a lot better than there being 50, and me having to watch where I walk and try to be courteous of the space, and respectful. Not to say that's anything extreme, it doesn't cost me an arm and a leg to do so, but I would just rather not, I'd rather have the space to myself, be able to scream if I want to, shit my pants, piss myself, on the middle of the gym floor, and not have anybody look at me funny, not have anybody giving me looks, not have anybody watching me. But maybe that's just me. That's just how I am, I'll admit that to myself. But we're gonna head to that gym. Hopefully I can get there before 3:30. Definitely before 3:30, but might have to speed a little bit. I don't know. We'll see how soon I can get there. I'm looking forward to it though. What are we gonna train? To be honest, I can't say for certain what we're going to train. My initial plan was to do shoulders and arms, but I'm kind of thinking about doing quads. No, not quads. Calves, hams, and glutes. I'm kind of thinking about doing calves, hams, and glutes. I think I'm honestly just going to decide once I get inside, or I might flip a coin in the car once I'm outside, I don't know. But it's either going to be shoulders and arms, or it's going to be calves, hams, and glutes. But enough talking, man. I'm going to see you guys once I'm at the gym. Man, you guys are not going to believe what happened. I finally made it to the gym. I'm outside. I don't know if you guys could see. It's right there. Right there. But, man, I got a little carried away. Started speeding a little bit, right? It was mostly freeway. But once I got to the road, man, I did not slow down, right? I was still going a little bit too fast. I hit a turn, right? I hit a turn. Pretty sharp one. Luckily, I'm not saying the car flipped or anything. I didn't do barrel rolls, anything like that. But I hit the median, right? You guys hit the median. I rolled over it a little bit with my back tire. So, yeah, man, I got checked, I got checked, I call myself a good driver. I'm pretty confident that I'm a good driver, a lot better than a lot of the drivers here in my city, Dallas drivers. They're not that good, but, man, all I felt was, when you drive over a curb, I just felt that, but it was like the whole median, basically. So it was like, oh, man. It just made me feel like an idiot, whenever I make a mistake and I'm driving, especially, I've never done that before. That was my first time ever doing that. But whenever I make any mistake when I'm driving, I can't help but to feel like an idiot, and call myself out. I'm pretty self-critical, and how can I call someone else an idiot when they're driving if I don't even check myself, if I'm not even aware of when I mess up. But finishing up this pre-workout. What time is it? It's currently 3:22, and we're outside the gym. So, accomplished the goal of getting here before 3:30 at the cost of almost flipping the car over, right? Almost doing flips and destroying, totaling my car, and not even getting to the gym. So, I'm gonna definitely not drive as fast, and you know, be more cautious, which I you know, you should drive cautiously. So me saying that to myself, having to say that, um it's like, yeah, bro, you should be cautious in the first place, right? You know, like, even if you're a good driver, if you you ease up on your awareness, you know, and like being cautious because you think you won't make a mistake, that's when you make one, you know. I'm outside the gym. What are we gonna hit? I was thinking, honestly, I'm feeling shoulders and arms. That's what I'm really feeling. I can come back here tomorrow, as long as it's within 24 hours, right? And I get in there, I can come back here tomorrow and we can hit calves, hams, glutes. And I think that's what I'm feeling right now. I think I'm feeling shoulders and arms. So I think that's what we're going to hit today. Shoulders and arms. It's January 9th today. January 9th, 2026. 3:25 a.m. 3:25 a.m., man. The dead of the night. Surprisingly, there's two cars here. This is a small, relatively small gym. Well, the gym's actually it's a pretty decent space, but the parking lot is pretty small. They maybe fit like 12 cars total in this parking lot, I think. It's pretty small parking lot. And honestly, I was surprised when I pulled up to even see one car, but there's two cars here, so I'm assuming there's two other people inside. Minimum two other people. But, you know, the more the merrier, you know. It's good to see other people grinding in the middle of the night while everyone else is asleep, or while some people are up watching TV, you know. Some people are in their bed doom scrolling, playing video games, or whatever you're doing. If you're up at 2, 3, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., you better be being productive with that time, you know. You better be pouring into yourself and doing something productive, something to better yourself, something to move that needle forward, right? You know, in a forward trajectory, in the right direction, you know. Don't waste your time. Don't take your time for granted, you know. If you're going to be up at 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m., you might as well be doing something productive, right? If you're watching TV, if you're out drinking, if you're on your phone scrolling, or if you're playing video games, you know, you might as well spend that time sleeping, man. Because, all right, look, you guys are not going to believe me when I say this, but I flipped the coin, right, to decide whether or not I was going to hit calves, hams and glutes, or shoulders and arms. I flipped the coin, right, and I said heads is calves, glutes, and hams, or yeah, whatever. And it landed on tails, you know. So, you know, I left it up to chance, you know, 50-50. So, you know, everything is pointing to hit shoulders and arms, right? What I want to hit, what the coin, fate told me to hit, you know, chance, luck, whatever you want to call it. So, shoulders and arms it is. We're going to hit a heavy, all my sessions are heavy, but we're going to hit a heavy shoulders and arms session, man. By the time I walk out of here, you know, I want my elbows to be cramping. I want if I fully extend my arm for my elbow to lock up. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I think I'm gonna do something, man. I'm gonna do something. Check this out. We're going to go another 200 milligrams of caffeine. Cheers, you guys. Cheers. There we go. So we're 400 milligrams of caffeine in. Was that a smart decision? I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to find out. That first dose, those first 200 milligrams, were definitely already hitting. These are gonna hit in about 10-15 minutes. So it's only going to amplify the boost that I already got, you know, the stim effect that I already had. So I'm gonna head inside now. Maybe show you guys a little bit of the gym before we start training. If not, I'm gonna see you guys for sure on that last warm-up of the first movement. And I think we're gonna start with triceps today. Yeah, triceps, biceps, rear delts, some type of overhead press variation, and then some side delts at the end. I'll see you guys once I'm inside. Look at this entrance, man. You can just tell this shit is old school. All right, we made it in, obviously. Check it out. This is how it looks. Let's go to the restroom real quick. All right, you guys. Look at this fucking restroom. The fit. What y'all think? Got the gas mark. Check this shit out. Got some lockers. Bench. Look at this. Fucking grungy, man. Look at this. I'll give you $5 if you stick your hand in there. So as you can see, man, a lot of people would write this place off just by taking one look at the locker room, you know? The bathroom, they'll say it's too dirty. It's not well kept up enough. But man, we're not here to use the fucking restroom or the locker room. We're here to fucking train and lift some fucking heavy ass weights. So me, personally, I don't give a fuck. I'm not here for this shit, you know? They got a toilet that you could take a piss in, you can shit in. That's good enough, you know? They have a fucking sink where you can wash your hands. That's all you need. Look at these fucking lockers, man. That shit doesn't even work. That shit's for toilet paper. Stop playing, man. If you're someone that likes, you know, fucking nice, clean gym and everything to be modern, this is not the fucking place for you, bro. First movement, doing this overhead extension machine, old school Paramount machine. I just did 120 for 4. That felt pretty light, so we're gonna try 150 for the first working set. See how that feels. Let's go. Oh. Crap. My fucking feet are slipping. Hold on. I didn't count. Oh. Fuck. That feels pretty good. Definitely feel that. Well, that was what, 15 reps?
I was hoping to get more like 12, so what's that, 150? I think we can go to 170. A full stack. Maybe get more like 12 with that. That's pretty much where I want to fail at 12. We'll see if it's heavy enough. It might not be. But it feels pretty good. We'll do one more set right here. Do some type of preacher curl variation. Maybe a dumbbell, maybe a unilateral. Some type of a push down. Then a machine preacher. Then we can move on to shoulders after that. Low key, it looks a lot different from the last time I was in here. In a good way, though. So we're gonna run 170, the full stack for this set. Let's see if this angle works how I think it will. Fuck. Yeah, that feels crazy. Well, we can move on to some biceps now. First movement for biceps at least. Okay. On to those dumbbell preacher curls. Got a 25-pound dumbbell right here. Last warm-up set. So we're going for 4 reps. See how this feels. Easy. That's 25. I think we're gonna go 35. That's a 65. What's this? 40. Okay. Getting closer. 45. Now, where the fuck is the 35 at? Here it is. 35. I got one of them. Here, look. You don't believe me? 35. All right. Let's go for that first working set. Left side first as usual. Oh. Oh. Fuck. That's fucking heavy. It feels like 40. Oh. Ah. 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 Okay. I'm gonna drop down to 30 for the second set. 4 reps, I'm not happy with that. Feels pretty good in here. Might even take off my sweater in a bit. Let you guys see the arms. £30. Let's go. I gotta redeem myself. Come on. Come on. Give me one more, David. Come on. Fuck. Come on, 7. That's a lot easier on the right side. Okay, yeah. How to make sure that was 30. I think we'll do one more set at 30. Just not count that first one. All right. Let's get that second set. Come on. Oh, oh, fuck. God damn. Uh, 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 uh. Okay. That's enough of that. Now we can do our second tricep movement now. Feeling ready? Arms are already feeling pretty pumped. Only 2 movements in. We got 2 more to go. All right. Let's go find some type of push down to do. And then we could do a machine preacher. And we'll be done with arms. And we can move on to shoulders. So we're just doing some regular standing cable push downs. Rolled up my sleeves a little bit so you guys can hopefully see triceps work. I just did 90 for 4, the last warm up. Felt pretty good, so we're gonna see how 110 feels for the working sets. So let's get that first working set. Fuck. Okay. That feels pretty good. What the fuck is that? No idea. I don't normally like doing the standing push down, but with a handle like this, kind of with 2 loops, where you can put your hand fully in it. It's kind of like a rope. You could do less weight, but I feel the contraction so much more. I feel like I can really extend that elbow. $110 for 9. That's the first set. 110. We have to get 9 to match the first set. 10 to beat it. Fuck. How's it look, you guys? You tell me. Arms feel pretty pumped. Definitely ready to do one more bicep movement, and that'll be enough for arms. Then we can move on to shoulders. I might have to come and hit chest and back again tomorrow, you guys. I've been seeing some pieces. They have some mega mass pieces I've never seen before. Like they have a mega mass T-bar, but it's not the linear one, you know? It's not like the Smith machine one. It's more like a traditional, just kind of free-loaded, like gravity-based one. I might show it to you guys in a bit. But let's move on to biceps. Last movement for biceps. We're gonna do a hammer preacher curl, and we're gonna do it bilateral. So we're gonna try and go heavy today. We're doing the hammer strength. Machine preacher, plate loaded, obviously. I think this is the Gen 1 hammer strength. If not, this is one of the first iterations of hammer strength, guys. Look at this shit. It's got a fucking manual on it. They have a lot of these pieces, actually. They have a lot of, like, I want to say first gen hammer strength, but if they're not first gen, they are very close. Like this row right here, this hammer strength row, this hammer strength chest press, if you can see it, I don't know if it's in frame, but we got 70 pounds loaded up for that last warm-up set. So we're just gonna hit 4 reps, try to gauge what we're gonna top out at today. I wanna try to hit 2 plates, but we'll see. One thing I know for sure is my arms are fucking pumped. So, that was 70. We're gonna go for 2 plates now, so 90. I'm gonna walk across the gym just to get an hour and 45. They've got kind of a mixture of iron plates and rubber plates, but I came all the way here. So you bet your ass I'm going to use the iron plates. Look, listen to the sound. Come on, you guys. You can't beat that. Something about that sound, man. It's like, just let you know it's go time. First working set. Let's get the show on the road. 90 pounds. Goal, I'm gonna set a goal of 8 reps. But if I can get 8, I'm gonna go for 9. If I can get 9, I'm gonna go for 10. Let's get it, you guys. Come on. Oh, fuck. 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 We only got 7. 1 rep shy of the goal. That shit was no joke though. I think to get 8, we'd have to do like 80 pounds. If I did 80, we could probably get 8. But I think I'm gonna stay at that 90 pounds and maybe just do a drop set. So I might get as many as I can again with 90, strip of 45, and then throw this 25 on. I'm gonna give myself a few seconds to rest before we do that. Make sure I'm nice and fresh for that. How's it look, guys? How's it look from the back? You guys see that? I hope we can. Maybe it's just some bias or like the novelty, but I feel like, honestly, it's probably the fact that I ate like an entire cup of rice before I came here. I feel like my pump is even better. But also, I might just be pushing myself harder than I usually would, you know, because of the new environment, because of the novelty. But something about, you know, the environment, being in an old school iron gym, a grungy dungeon, for me at least, I'm sure for a lot of you guys that understand me, that, you know, love lifting and take it seriously. It makes you just really want to push yourself as hard as you can, you know. Starting with some rear delts. Rear delt flies, obviously. On the machine, I like to do these on the machine, you know. Have this shit. Obviously on the rear delt fly machine / pec deck, I like to do these right here to use the chest pad as stability, you know, something to brace against. That way all I have to focus on is sweeping that rear delt back. So we just did this number 8 pin for 8 reps. We're gonna go to the 10 pin. No idea how much weight that is. The weight stack is labeled 1 through 21. So we're gonna do whatever 10 is. 4 reps, feel it out. We'll see what we do for our working sets. Oh, let's go. Got 4 reps right here. All right, that was pretty easy. That was the 10 pin. I think we're gonna go for the 14 pin. We'll try that first, see how it feels. If it's too heavy, we'll drop down. If it's too light, you know, we'll just do a set, do higher reps, and then go up after that. Now I like to start shoulders with rear delts. That way, when I do a press, at least some of my upper back musculature is nice and warmed up and helps me really stay stable, you know. Because let's say I'm doing a overhead press like this, what's actually making contact with the bench or the machine is my back, right? My upper back, my mid back. If you do it right, even your lower back, you know, your whole back is connected. So it really helps to have all this warmed up. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna do full upper back, you know, like traps and rhomboids, because we're only doing shoulders. So doing rear delts, doing a rear delt movement before I do a press, some type of overhead press, I feel like that's enough, and I feel like it definitely helps, so it's definitely worth doing. And it's a smaller muscle, right? It's a muscle that a lot of people neglect, including me in the past. I'm even guilty of having neglected my rear delts in the past. So by putting them first, when I'm freshest shoulders-wise, because obviously I did triceps and biceps first, so I'm not completely fresh, but by starting with rear delts before I move on to an overhead press variation and a side delt variation, they're getting a little bit of priority. All right, let's get this first set right here. Oh. 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 Ah. 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 Woo. Ah. Okay, that was what, 14 reps? 14 on the 14 pin. Funny enough. That felt pretty good. Usually I don't like to go above 12 reps just because I'm lazy, but it's not like it was a 2-minute set, you know, just to get 14 reps, so I'm okay with that. We're gonna stay at that 14 pin. It might be 140 pounds, maybe. I don't know. I'm just assuming. We're gonna stay at that 14 pin, hit one more set, and then do some type of overhead press variation. I might do the hammer strength plate loaded overhead press. Or I might do a seated dumbbell overhead press. I'll see what I'm feeling. But rear delts are definitely feeling nice and somewhat pumped just from those warm-ups in that one set. This is a pretty good rear delt fly machine. Old school life fitness machine. But use the chest pad, you know. Brace your chest against the pad. That way you keep your rib cage nice and taut, nice and cylindrical. You stay nice and upright, you know, you don't start dropping your rib cage, you know, losing your shape. Because once you go like this, you're losing some of the tension from your rear delts, you know. It's moving on to like more of your mid, upper back, your rhomboids. Just don't cheat the movement, you know. If you cheat the movement, you're gonna start incorporating other muscles and leaking tension from where you want it. Obviously on a rear delt fly, we want the tension on the rear delts. Same way, we're at that 14 pin. Let's get that second set so we can move on to an overhead press. Fuck. Okay. I guess I was 11. Almost. No, I mean 11 or almost 11. Guess it depends on who you're asking. I would say 10 and a half, you know. 10 clean ones. I attempted 11. Didn't quite get it. Wasn't, at least it wasn't to my liking, that's what I'm trying to say. But definitely ready to move on to a press. So we're gonna do an overhead press variation. I think I'm gonna do the hammer strength overhead press, the plate loaded one. Then we're gonna do some probably machine lateral raise after standing. They have a nice mega mass standing lateral raise, kind of similar to the Arsenal one, but chain driven that I've never seen before, so I want to try that out. And then we'll be good to go. So I'll see you guys on the last warm-up set on that hammer strength overhead press. All right. About to load up 70 pounds right here. Just did a plate for 8. So we're gonna do 70 pounds for 4. The last warm-up set right here. Plate loaded hammer strength overhead press. Probably gonna get to 2 plates per side for the working sets. Let's get this last warm up. Man, this old school hammer strength feels really nice. Let you guys know, as you could tell, the back pad is a lot wider. So I feel like I can really get my whole back onto it. Versus the new hammer strength ones, they're a little thinner. Let me go find these plates. Trying to use strictly the iron plates. I got one. Now we just gotta find one more. Having a bit of trouble. Is this one? It's just 35. Oh, got another one. After like a minute, 2 minutes of searching, we've got another 45 plate. So, 2 plates per side right here. On the hammer plate loaded overhead press. Shit, we're gonna set the goal to 8 reps. 8 reps is the goal. But as always, push it to failure. Do as much as we can. If that's 6, if that's 4, if it's 10 or 12, the number doesn't really matter, but it's good to set a goal. You know, I'm a big advocate for, and I preach for always, setting the goal higher than what you think you can actually do. So I might realistically only believe I can get 6, right? But if I set the goal to 8, I'm gonna push for 8. So if I get 6, I'm at least gonna attempt that 7th. If I get to 7, I'm at least gonna attempt the 8th, regardless of whether I get it or not. All right. Let's go. Ooh. Oh. Come on, one more. Come on. Oh, fuck. God damn. Alright, see, I only got 5 right there, but I went for that 6, right? The fact I didn't get it, that doesn't really matter because I attempted it. So next time I go for it, I still might not get it. I might get it, but regardless, it's going to make it easier to possibly get it or to get it. I'm gonna rest a little bit. We're gonna run one more set right here. Finish with some side delts, some lateral raises. Maybe do a little bit of posing, and we'll be good to go. Okay. Let's run that second set. The goal for this one is to match that first one. So 5 is the goal here. But I'm gonna do what I can, whether that's less or more. Oh. Uh. Uh. Yeah, that's all I have. I knew I was gonna get 5, so at least I had to try to control and milk that eccentric on that 4th rep. That's our 2 sets right there. So I'm ready to move on to some side delts. Move on to some side delts. Maybe do a little bit of posing. And then head out. Call it a day for today. Probably come back tomorrow and hit chest and back again. Even though I hit it yesterday. Hams and glutes will get hit. Probably the day after. So I'm not skipping it. I'm only pushing it back, you guys. Okay, so here's that Mega Mass lateral raise I was talking about. Funny enough, the weight stack is not labeled, so I did all my warm-ups, but I have no idea how much weight it was. I just went one pin down at a time. Last warm-up felt pretty good for 4. Pretty heavy, so we're just gonna use the same weight as the last warm-up and rep it out. Fuck. What was that? 10? 10 good reps? Felt pretty good. Pretty heavy. We'll just stay at that for a second set. No idea how much weight it was. Maybe like 50, 60 pounds, I think. I'm guessing. It's kind of similar to the Arsenal, but obviously it's chain driven. So what I like to do here is take a step back, slightly lean forward, slightly lean in the torso. That way, instead of it just being straight out to the sides, it's like out and forward at the same time, So it lines up more with the way the fibers of the side out run, because they're not straight like this. They're kind of run at an angle. So we're trying to make the path of the movement run run identical to the way the fibers run. I got the first set done. 6:04 a.m. right now. Let's get the second set. I'm gonna do some abs, just because I need to charge my phone. Then we're gonna head out. I felt pretty good. I don't typically do partials. It's been a long time, honestly, since I do any partials. Obviously, I threw some in at the end right there, but that felt pretty good. I actually feel like it did something. Maybe it just gave me a bit more of a pump. But either way, how can I complain about a better pump? I actually think I'm gonna do one more set right here. Just because I feel like my front delts are so developed. Not to say my side delt and my rear delt aren't developed, but I feel like my front delt is more developed. So it makes the side delt and the rear delt look smaller in comparison, if that makes sense. But let's run this third set. Third and final set. Come on. Fuck. That's definitely enough. Look. Shit. That looks anything how it feels. And it should be nice and capped by now. So we got arms and shoulders and arms done. I'm gonna do some abs to finish up, which I may or may not record. To be transparent, just because I need to charge my phone. So, just so I'm not sitting around, I'm gonna be somewhat productive and do some abs just to finish up, you know. But I'll see you guys for sure once I'm in the car. I lied. I'm gonna try and film the core/ab work. There's no glute ham raise here for me to do glute ham reverse crunch, so we're gonna do some decline crunches. Got a 25-pound plate right here. It's a load behind the head. I used to be able to do like 25 pounds, 30 pounds, 35 pounds. When I was doing decline crunches, like almost after every session, I just did a body weight set. I was thinking about doing a 10, but I want to at least try a 25 and see if I could do it. You know, worst case scenario, I can't, and I drop down to the 10 or 15. But we won't know if we don't try. So we're gonna try it first. Oh. Okay, that's it. Shit. God damn. Well, to get 5 right there, that was fucking heavy. But hey, we were able to do it, so considering I haven't done this consistently in like at least 2 months, I'm not upset with that. So when you do these, you want to stop. You want to stop shy of laying all the way back, because if you lay all the way back and you get to the point where your erectors make contact with the bench again, your your back is gonna arch, right? You're gonna arch, and you're gonna lose that tension on the core. So you want to stop just shy of fully laying back down, and then go back up. So it looks like a half rep, but it's really a full rep, you know, because that's how you make sure you don't lose the tension on your core. 25 for what, 5? I think that's all right. We'll just do another set with the 25. Try and get another 5. Do an ab crunch machine. We'll go for higher reps on the ab crunch machine. This is a bit more lengthened bias, so it's a bit more bias to the stretch. Not completely though, since I'm not laying all the way flat, since I can't. So it's not quite as length as bias as a GHR crunch, but it is a lot more than a machine. You know, a machine is short and bias. Machine is heaviest in that contraction. So you always want to do a lengthened bias and then a shortened bias movement for any muscle. Same principle as doing a preacher curl. You know, lengthened bias, heaviest at the stretch, and then a machine preacher, heaviest at the contraction. All right, let's get one more set right here. Hopefully I don't fucking throw my back out right here. You don't want to do any really grindy reps on here, you know. Once you get shaky, you have maybe one more rep and you want to cut the set. Fuck. Okay, that's it. Like I said, I don't know if you guys saw it, I started to get shaky, started twisting a little bit side to side. That's what your core would do in a movement like this. Once it's basically fried, you know. You're gonna start using anything you can to finish the rep. And on something like a decline ab crunch, especially weighted, with a 25 fucking pound plate behind the head, that's no good. You start pushing for more reps and you risk getting injured. I'm gonna put this up. We'll put this somewhere. We're gonna do an ab crunch and we'll be good to go. I tried to do a ab crunch machine. The seat fell on me like 2 times. So we opted for a cable crunch. We got the full stack, 150. I just hit it for 4. That's our last warm up. So this is where we do our working sets. Let me see. Okay. Honestly, my grip gave out right there. The only thing I don't like about doing this with a rope is it maybe I'm just weak, a bitch, but it hurts my hands. I think I'm gonna change the attachment. So we're gonna switch to a handle. That way the limiting factor isn't my grip. It's actually my core, you know? Yeah, let's just go to that second set. Okay. My bad if I'm ear raping you guys. Um, I notice when I'm doing it, the extra crunch, the mic comes up pretty close to my mouth, so it's probably some ear rape when I'm breathing, right? My bad if it is. I think I'm not gonna count that first set just because my grip gave out. So I guess we'll rest for a little bit and then we'll run one more. And then we can call it a day. Let's get this last set right here. Man. I really feel that in my lower abs. So what I try to do right here is to keep my hips stable, you know, stationary in one position, and only flex from the core, from my spine. So I'm trying to curl into a ball, right? And I don't know if you guys can see it, but on like one or two of those reps, my head didn't even hit the ground. That's how you know you're really flexing where you should be, you know. I'm definitely done for today. I feel good. I'm gonna see if There's a mirror I can pose in front of, and then maybe pose a little bit, and then we'll be done for today. It's 6:45 right now, so 15 minutes till 7.
All right, it's 7:24 a.m. My hair got messed up, chat, but nah, we're finally out. I hit some abs at the end. You guys saw that, right? Hit some abs at the end just to finish up. Really, I just had to charge my phone, but I didn't want to, just sit by an outlet. So decided to be at least a little somewhat productive and hit some abs. But yeah, great shoulders and arms session. Great session, man. One of the best pumps I've had in a while somehow. Maybe it was that cup of rice I had as my last meal, Surprisingly, even though it was like 2 hours before the workout, I might have to start eating a full cup of rice 2 hours ahead. I had no pre-workout snack, right? Nothing 30 minutes or an hour before. Just that last meal, and then straight to the gym. But it's like, what time did I say it was? 7:30, 7:34, 7:30, yeah. People are starting to wake up. Gym was starting to pick up. My work here is done, so I'm good to go, I'm good to go. I can leave here guilt-free.